Right, good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this Village Board meeting to order on Monday, November 16, 2020. We are meeting virtually again this evening because it is not yet practical or prudent for us to meet in person. I would first ask if you would all please rise and join the Village Board in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation,
under
God,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
And Becky, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Rosenberg.
Here.
Trustee Tinaglia.
Here.
Trustee Schwingbeck.
Here.
Trustee Padovani.
Here.
Trustee Scaletta.
Here.
Trustee Baldino.
Here.
Trustee Canty.
Here.
Trustee LaBedz.
Here.
President Hayes.
Here. First item on the agenda is the approval of minutes, and we have two sets to approve tonight from the evening of November 2nd, 2020. First is the Village Board meeting minutes. Are there any changes or passes?
Move approval?
Second.
Motion to approve by Trustee LaBedz, seconded by Trustee Padovani. If no further questions or comments from the board or the audience, roll call.
Trustee LaBedz.
Yes.
Trustee Padovani.
Yes.
Trustee Scaletta.
Yes.
Trustee Canty.
Yes.
Trustee Schwingbeck.
Yes.
Trustee Baldino.
Yes.
Trustee Tinaglia.
Yes.
Trustee Rosenberg.
Yes.
President Hayes.
Yes. Next are the committee of the whole meeting minutes from that same evening, November 2nd, 2020. Any changes or passes? Seeing none, entertain a motion. Motion to approve by Trustee Baldino, seconded by Trustee Schwingbeck. If no further comments from the board or the audience, seeing none, roll call.
Trustee Baldino.
Yes.
Trustee Schwingbeck.
Yes.
Trustee Padovani.
Yes.
Trustee LaBedz.
Yes.
Trustee Rosenberg.
Yes.
Trustee Scaletta.
Yes.
Trustee Canty.
Yes.
Trustee Tinaglia.
Yes.
President Hayes.
Yes. Next is the approval of the accounts payable, and I call on Trustee Rosenberg.
Thank you, Mayor Hayes. I'd move approval of the warrant register with a check date of November 15th, 2020 in the amount of $10,233,050.84.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Rosenberg, seconded by Trustee Scaletta. Any questions or comments from the board? Anything from the audience? Seeing none, roll call.
Trustee Rosenberg.
Yes.
Trustee Scaletta.
Yes.
Trustee Tinaglia.
Yes.
Trustee Baldino.
Yes.
Trustee Canty.
Yes.
Trustee LaBedz.
Yes.
Okay. Trustee Schwingbeck.
Yes.
Trustee Padovani.
Yes.
President Hayes.
Yes. Move on then, there being no recognitions or presentations, to citizens to be heard. And this is an opportunity for those who wish to address the board on items not on the agenda. And we did have a couple of comments or questions submitted in advance, and I'd first call on our village clerk, Becky Hume, to read those into the record.
Yes, Mayor. I had two notes from residents. The first comes from Nicole Grassi. She writes, with respect to the recent explosion of COVID-19 in our state and village, Governor Pritzker encouraged us to ask our mayor to let us know what he is doing to enforce the doctor-recommended mitigations to keep us safe. She asked if Mayor Hayes could respond to that question tonight.
All right, why don't I know you've got another one, Becky, but why don't we take that one now?
Okay.
Good question, and it is something that I've been dealing with personally, the village board as well, and our village manager and staff for the past 8, almost 9 months now. And as I've told a number of individuals who've asked this same question, and there are strong opinions on both sides, certainly, both opinions that think we're doing too much and people who think we're not doing enough. So that's really been my challenge and our challenge over the past 8 to 9 months over the course of the coronavirus pandemic. Again, my challenge as mayor has been to find the right balance between health and safety and economic reality, as it's my obligation and the obligation of this village board to not only help provide for the health, safety, and welfare of 76,000 residents, but also to do all we can to help our struggling businesses survive during this very challenging time period. As I'm sure you all know, again, opinions have been very strong on both sides of the issue. While the village continues to monitor and thoughtfully respond to the recent uptick on COVID-19 cases, we must take great care to do so without unnecessarily burdening our residents or our businesses. From the beginning of the pandemic, I have personally encouraged all residents and businesses to comply with Governor Pritzker's orders and all recommended safety guidelines. Back in the spring, in a community video message, and again just recently on a Zoom conference with our local businesses, and again through the Chamber of Commerce, I specifically advised our businesses not to defy the governor's orders. Instead, I am currently working with other regional leaders to dialogue with the governor's office on the new restrictions and to revisit whether they are truly based on the best data available. In the interim, I and the village encourage compliance with all IDPH, or the Illinois Department of Public Health, and CDC, or the Center for Disease Control guidelines, and we will leave enforcement of the governor's orders to the appropriate state and county agencies, as the village has neither the legal authority nor the resources to do so. With the holidays fast approaching and with Thanksgiving just next week, I've also advised our residents to be smart in planning their holiday gatherings. Of course, we have to leave that to our residents to do that on their own. The village is not going to be sending people into homes within the village of Arlington Heights to police this. So all we can do is encourage our families, our residents, to be smart and to try to prevent the spread in their own families and to prevent the spread out in the community after the holidays are over. So that's basically what I and the village board have been doing. Randy, Mr. Recklaus, do you have anything else to add in terms of the village current stance?
The village's participation in kind of monitoring compliance with any of the governor's mandates or compliance orders has been the same throughout this entire pandemic. And that is, if we get a complaint about a restaurant not being in compliance with any of the governor's orders, we do send staff out to verify whether or not a violation exists. If a violation exists, we let the property ownership know that we found them to be in violation of the governor's order, and then we report them to Cook County Department of Health, who has the legal authority to enforce it. And we did that in the beginning, we did that in the middle, and we've been doing that now with the latest order. But as the mayor said, we really don't have the legal authority or the resources to be the enforcement arm where we're issuing citations and so forth for the governor's orders. And so we've taken that tack. We do field complaints, and we certainly encourage businesses to operate in compliance with health standards.
All right, thanks, Mr. Recklaus. Becky, you had one other comment to read into the record? Becky, are you there?
I think you're muted, Becky.
My apologies.
There you go.
The other letter comes from Melissa Kayer. She writes, ask the Cook County Treasurer to put the Village of Arlington Heights website address on the property tax bill when you ask them to put a dollar amount on the property tax bill.
Okay, I guess a suggestion or a request. I don't know if Mr. Reckles has any response to that or comment.
No, obviously, when taxpayers, when we all receive our property tax bill, it comes from the county, but your property tax is levied by several taxing agencies such as the village, school district, park district, et cetera. And so but the county is the one responsible for sending the bill. And, they really control the content of those bills.
All right, thank you, Mr. Reckles. And thank you, Melissa. Becky, you have no other written comments, is that right?
That's correct. I do not have any other written comments.
Okay, thank you. I would then ask if there's anyone in the audience who wishes to address the board on an item not on the agenda at this time. All right, I see no hands. And so let me move on then in the agenda to old business. And we do have a number of items to report out from our November 9 and November 10 budget hearings, and then our meeting from earlier this evening. Just in advance of the motions regarding the budget, those were motions that kind of culminated the process. It's really a year-long process that resulted in our annual budget, and so the village board has been consulted throughout that 12-month period on various steps along the way. And it's really resulted in a very fine, comprehensive process where the budget hearings end up in these final motions that you are hearing this evening. But in no way is that the first time that the board has heard of what our departments are proposing for their budgets for the upcoming year. The village board did ask, one very big ask to the village manager and his staff this year, and that was to do all they could to end up with a 0% tax levy for a second consecutive year. And I'm very pleased to report that after much hard work, diligent effort, and leadership on behalf of the village manager, the finance director, and all the department heads, they were able to accomplish that in the midst of a very challenging COVID-19 pandemic. And so congratulations to them in advance of the report out of this motion. It really is for the benefit of the entire community, our residents and our businesses, that they did this great feat in response to our request. And so we can't thank them enough for their contributions. Mr. Reckles, before we report out the motions, anything further to add?
No, thank you, Mayor. I was just going to reiterate that this is very much a long process. Aside from having individual conversations with trustees over the course of the entire year, we had a budget ceiling discussion. We talked about the assumptions going into the budget in June. The budget document was made available to the board and to the public the end of October for comment. We did receive comments from the public and respond to every comment that we received or question. And then the budget was presented in detail at committee of the whole meetings on November 9th and November 10th. Tonight is really just a simple rereading of those motions. There'll be a public hearing and the final vote on the budget at the first meeting in December. So I wanted to point that out, that there really are a lot of opportunities. But yeah, through a tightening of our belt, through the temporary and permanent elimination of a couple of positions, and by a lot of creativity on behalf of the staff, we are able this year to provide a budget that has a 0% increase in the property tax levy. This is the second year in a row that the village has been able to accomplish this. And we are in the general fund having out of a $78 million budget, we're having to go dip into a $691,000 deficit. We're going to do everything we can to outperform our model and not incur a deficit, but on paper, that's what it looks like at this point. And this is very much a maintenance budget that allows us to provide services to the public, and we're very mindful of the fact that that has a cost in the form of property taxes and other fees and so forth. And so we try to be very conservative with the public's money.
Thank you, Mr. Reckles. We do have three motions to report out from those two budget hearing evenings. And the first from the Committee of the Whole meeting from November 9, 2020, is to be reported by Trustee Scaletta.
Thank you, Mayor. I would move now, as I did on the evening of November 9th, 2020, that the Committee of the Whole recommend to the Board of Trustees that the Board acknowledge with thanks the proposed budget for the Arlington Heights Memorial Library Fund at 0% levy
Second.
increase. Sorry.
Motion by Trustee Scaletta, seconded by Trustee Canty. Any questions or comments from the board or from the audience? Seeing none, roll call.
Trustee Scaletta,
Yes.
Trustee Canty,
Yes.
Trustee LaBedz,
Yes.
Trustee Rosenberg,
Yes.
Trustee Padovani,
Yes.
Trustee Tinaglia,
Yes.
Trustee Baldino,
Yes.
Trustee Schwingbeck,
Yes.
President Hayes.
Yes. And then from our Committee of the Whole meeting on November 10, I would call on Trustee Rosenberg.
Thank you, Mayor Hayes. I would move, as I did the night of November 10th, 2020, that the Committee of the Whole recommend to the Village Board of Trustees to authorize staff to prepare the Villages and Arlington Heights Memorial Library 2020 tax levy ordinance reflecting an estimated tax levy of $51,828,721, or a 0% increase over the 2019 extended tax levy for the village and library portion of the levy.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Rosenberg, seconded by Trustee Scaletta. Any questions or comments from the board? Anything from the audience? Seeing none, roll call.
Trustee Rosenberg,
Yes.
Trustee Scaletta,
Yes.
Trustee Canty,
Yes.
Trustee Baldino,
Yes.
Trustee LaBedz,
Yes.
Trustee Padovani,
Yes.
Trustee Schwingbeck,
Yes.
Trustee Tinaglia,
Yes.
President Hayes.
Yes. And again, Trustee Rosenberg.
Thank you, Mayor Hayes. I would move, as I did the night of November 10th, 2020, that the Committee of the Whole recommend to the Village Board of Trustees that the board approve the proposed 2021 budget as amended through the review process.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Rosenberg, seconded by Trustee Tinaglia. Any questions or comments from the board?
Mayor, one comment.
Trustee Rosenberg.
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to commend Randy and everyone on the staff and especially the finance department, Tom Keeney and everybody on his staff for all the work that they put out for the past year in trying to achieve this, the goal that we asked of the 0% increase. So thank you very much.
Trustee Tinaglia.
Thanks, Mayor Hayes. And I just wanted to thank Trustee Rosenberg for the past 8 years that I've been on this board. He has been the rock who has been reviewing these budgets with a fine-tooth comb as he has. And this being the very last budget that he'll be reviewing, I'm honored to second it. And I just can't wait to see who will take his place in the coming years. And they're going to have a large pair of shoes to fill. So thank you, Trustee Rosenberg.
But
Thank you, Trustee Tenaya.
He exhausted the village supply of Post-it notes, so we're going to have to order some new ones for next year.
Mayor, I have to stand corrected. They were out of my own pocket.
Okay, all right. Well, you could use village ones for that purpose. All right, Trustee Scaletta.
Thank you, Mayor. You know, I think that I just wanted to make one clarification when Randy was talking about that we are going to be using some of our reserve funds. This is something that we normally don't do. But based on the expectations of lower sales tax revenue, lower food and beverage taxes, that is something that we agreed that we were going to do this year. So I just want to kind of clarify, because it sounds like, you know, we balanced to zero by using reserves, but that was really because of the significant decrease in sales tax revenue and food and beverage tax. We've had a significant downturn this year, and we anticipate that it's going to be several months, if not 6 months, to get us, you know, somewhat back to normal. And so that's one of the reasons why this board agreed with that. So thank you.
Any other comments from the board? Any comments or questions from the audience? Seeing none, roll call.
Trustee Rosenberg,
Yes.
Trustee Tinaglia,
Yes.
Trustee Baldino,
Yes.
Trustee Canty,
Yes.
Trustee LaBedz,
Yes.
Trustee Schwingbeck,
Yes.
Trustee Padovani,
Yes.
Trustee Scaletta,
Yes.
President Hayes.
Yes. Well, we move on then to the report of the committee of the whole meeting from this evening, November 16, 2020, and I call on Trustee Scaletta.
Thank you, Mayor. I would move, as I did earlier this evening, that the Village Board of Trustees recommend to the Liquor Commissioner the issuance of a Class B liquor license to SK Enterprise Group Incorporated, doing business as 7-Eleven, located at 1418 Hints Road.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Scaletta, second by Trustee Canty. Any questions or comments from the board or from the audience? Seeing none, roll call.
Trustee Scaletta,
Yes.
Trustee Canty,
Yes.
Trustee Schwingbeck,
Yes.
Trustee Rosenberg,
Yes.
Trustee Tinaglia,
Yes.
Trustee Padovani,
Yes.
Trustee LaBedz,
Yes.
Trustee Baldino,
Yes.
President Hayes.
Yes. Well, congratulations to the new owners and operators of the 7-Eleven on Hints Road. We wish you many years of great success at that location, and welcome to the Village of Arlington Heights.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Right, there is no other old business, so we move on to the consent agenda. Are there any members of the board who wish to remove an item on the consent agenda? Any members of the audience wish to remove an item on the consent agenda? Seeing none, any members of the board wish to vote no or pass on any item on the consent agenda? Seeing none, and entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
So, second.
A motion by Trustee Tinaglia, seconded by Trustee LaBedz. Any questions or comments from the board or from the audience? Seeing none, roll call.
Trustee Tinaglia,
Yes.
Trustee LaBedz,
Yes.
Trustee Rosenberg,
Yes.
Trustee Schwingbeck,
Yes.
Trustee Padovani,
Yes.
Trustee Scaletta,
Yes.
Trustee Baldino,
Yes.
Trustee Canty,
Yes.
President Hayes.
Yes. We move on then to the report of the village manager. Randy, do you have anything other than the request for closed session?
Nothing this evening.
All right, thank you. And then under petitions and communications, anything from the board? Well, as I mentioned earlier, we've got holidays coming up, Thanksgiving next week. This is our last board meeting before the Thanksgiving holiday. And so, again, it's going to be different this year, but we can still take the time to give thanks for all the many blessings in our lives, despite our current circumstances. So, again, just be smart, but have a great Thanksgiving to all those in the village of Arlington Heights.
Mayor,
Trustee Rosenberg.
are we having a virtual tree lighting this year?
There is a virtual tree lighting, and we did some preliminary work for that. And my understanding is that the link will be available next Tuesday, sometime next week in any event. So
Okay.
we will publicize that on our village website and social media. And so, that's a good reminder. Please take advantage of our virtual tree lighting ceremony. Again, much different than usual years, but hopefully we'll be back in person in North School Park the day after Thanksgiving 2021.
Thank you.
Anything else from the board? Seeing none, Mr. Recklaus.
1 second here. Hold on 1 second. Where did my... There it is. I would request for closed session, make a request for closed session for ILCS 120/2C21, discussion of minutes lawfully closed, whether the purpose of approval of the minutes or the semi-annual review of the minutes, and 5 ILCS 120/2C1, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body or legal counsel.
Move to concur with the request.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Scaletta, seconded by Trustee Baldino. Roll call.
Trustee Scaletta,
Yes.
Trustee Baldino,
Yes.
Trustee LaBedz,
Yes.
Trustee Padovani,
Yes.
Trustee Canty,
Yes.
Trustee Schwingbeck,
Yes.
Trustee Tinaglia,
Yes.
Trustee Rosenberg,
Yes.
President Hayes.
Yes. So we are adjourned in the closed session. We will not be reporting back out. Please enjoy the rest of your evening. And again, have a very, very happy and safe Thanksgiving.